detective. I had to find you. My employer is a very powerful man. The past ain't finished with you. It's gonna keep knocking at your door.
Ooh. Looks scary. Kevin Bacon returning to the horror genre where he got his start. He's in the new movie called MaXXXine. Jake spoke with him. And it escaped me. You said that his first movie was a horror movie, and I said Tremors.
Early '80s. No, before he did Tremors, he was an up-and-coming actor. His very first movie was a little film called Friday the 13th.
He was in Friday the 13th.
Original. He wasn't even killed by Jason, because who's the killer in Friday the 13th? Mrs. Voorhees. Jason's mom.
Voorhees.
Exactly right. MaXXXine is now playing in theaters, and it's really fun, like we said, because Kevin actually got his start in the horror genre with his first movie being Friday the 13th. And, of course, he filmed the horror movie Stir of Echoes right here in Chicago. I had the chance to chat with both Kevin Bacon and his MaXXXine co-star Elizabeth Debicki. You know her for winning an Emmy for playing Princess Diana in The Crown. And since they both have experience filming movies in our city, Elizabeth was in a great movie called Widows, which was brilliant. I wanted to know what their experiences were like filming in Chicago.
You can't tell I'm talking to you from Chicago right now, and both of you guys have filmed two of my favorite all-time movies in our city, being both Stir of Echoes and Widows. And I'm just sort of curious what your experiences were in our city, and I feel like in both of those films in particular, Chicago it's such a pretentious film critic thing to say, but really does play a major role in like a character in each of those films.
You mentioned Stir of Echoes. I was also there for Flatliners, and she's having a baby. You know, John Hughes was like Mr. Chicago. Stir of Echoes is one of my favorite genre movies that I've ever been in. The idea of getting the gig back in Chicago would be fantastic.
Yeah.
You think to yourself, well, yeah, but it's in the middle of the country, so I'm going to feel a little landlocked. But it feels like you're like on this giant ocean, really.
Right.
Beaches, and I love the lake.
Yeah,
I love it. It's fantastic.
I loved working in Chicago so much that I always sort of say it's my favorite city to work in. We shot there in the kind of going into the summer, so we weren't like bearing the brunt of your winter, but I had the best time in your city. I loved the people I met. The music was incredible. For me, it was like the best time shooting a movie ever, because we had this really rich social life as a cast, and we went out and we listened to amazing people play, and we ate all this amazing food. It was the best. Whenever someone says, what was your favorite job, I always say Widows. We had the most fun.
MaXXXine is now playing in theaters. If you haven't seen Kevin Bacon in Stir of Echoes, it's a great, he also, like he said, he filmed Flatliners here. So those are two great movies. And if you've never seen Elizabeth Debicki in a movie called Widows, which is what she was talking about, it is one of my top 5 favorite movies ever filmed in the city of Chicago. It is an underrated masterpiece. And then MaXXXine, of course, is the third film in the X horror trilogy.
I see it. Those 3 X's
exactly
in
right.
the title.
Exactly
now
right.
I get it. Okay, Jake, thank you so much.